Okay guys, so today I'm going to talk about something that is not my favorite subject, but it tends to be a lot of your favorite subject. And that is how to get shredded and muscular on keto, right? And maybe also how to build those glutes, because that's what Ma did. She built her glutes back. Because baby did not have back before. When I busted my knee, my stuff fell like a flat book. So I had to build that business back up. So if you've just come to this video or my channel, then it's all going to be new. If you have been following me, it's going to be snippets of things you've already heard, but it's still good to kind of revisit the subject. So here we go. So lately I've been going through a growth phase. As you guys can see, I'm constantly building. This is the age of 48. With no refeeding on carbohydrates. I used to be a pro skateboarder, so I busted my knee and I can't run, jump, lunge, or squat. So it has been very challenging to go and build not only, everything's in the darn way. That's what you would try to do your own videos, right? Not only did I build my glutes, but I started building my hamstrings and the best I can with my quads. And of course the upper body and the back, right? I've been building the back a lot. So, myths, truths, facts, bodybuilders, fitness competitors, the average person, people middle-aged having difficulties to regulate their hormones. Let's have a talk right here, right now. So how I got shredded and muscular on keto was all those things that I've mentioned before. Now, in a couple of videos way back, I was mentioning things like, bubbles in your pee, which is a sign of diabetes or insulin resistance, or it's also what you don't want, which is a loss of protein. So go look at your pee and see if it's a little bubbly, because that could be problematic. But to build muscle and to get lean, your system obviously has to be in balance. You've got to have just enough of the catabolism and just enough of the anabolism, and you got to be in this nice little flow, right? Got to be in this flow. So the more consultations I do, yes, I do consultations with a ton of people, the more I learn about what's going on with people's reproductive hormones. And let me tell you, they are down the toilet. So if you have a little bit of insulin resistance, if you've got a little bit of stress, if you have a little bit of cortisol issue, you're not going to build muscle. And if you don't sleep well, you're not going to build muscle. So let's go through the why you're not having the body and the hormonal response that you want, and how you could. So here we go. So I've mentioned this before. Sleep. If you're not sleeping, you're not going to do well in any competition. I don't care what sport it is, or I don't care if it's what kind of fitness competition. You are going to frack up your body to some capacity. Now, most women, they start dieting for fitness competitions. Boof! Period. Menstrual cycle. Bye-bye. And when your menstrual cycle goes, honeys, you kind of menopausal. And when your adrenals are overtaxed and your ovaries aren't pumping out estrogen, progesterone, testosterone in that nice balance, that homeostasis, when your period leaves, then everything is going to be problematic. You're going to start to be estrogen dominant. You're not going to be able to lose the certain fat pockets that your body's starting to develop. And the more fat that you get, the more estrogen dominant you become, because fat cells make more estrogen. I know! This is not normal, people. In nature, okay, but it's normal. It's very common in today's society. So, people come to me all the time wanting to do fitness competitions, and they want to get lean. Now, this is me. If I wanted to diet, if I wanted to cut my fat grams down to access more body fat that's going to be converted into ketones via the liver, then I could do that. And within 2 weeks, I could probably go down 2 to 3% body fat easy. If I just cut my fat way down, then I'm going to, because I'm already pretty low in body fat for a woman who does no cardio. Yes, no cardio. And my knee's so busted I can't use these large muscle groups to become more metabolically active, to then even create more GLUT4 receptor sites, to get rid of glucose, to keep insulin at bay, and to gobble up fat at rest, which is ketone production. So, with that said, ketogenesis is pretty powerful if you do it the right way. So a lot of people come to me 6 weeks out of a competition. It's not going to work, yo. I mean, to be honest, my body didn't kick in full force. Now, I've always been pretty lean, but I wasn't bubbly, and I didn't have the muscularity when I was in my 30s. Let's say when I was 35, because I'm 48. So when I was 35, if you see old pictures of me, you'll be like, oh, but you've got abs and stuff. But I wasn't like this, yo. I wasn't like, boom. I didn't have the muscularity. I did not have it back then. No way. So can you imagine nearly 10 years later that your body is just still, like, it's like being like 20. And then all of a sudden they say, oh, you've hit your muscle maturity when you're 30. And now I was 35 and didn't hit my muscle maturity until now, 48. But to do that, your reproductive hormones have to be on point fleet correct, which means that your level of stress has to be managed on point fleet correct. Now, I'm not saying anything new, okay? All the stuff that I mention in videos about inflammation, being absorptive, not being able to methylate, to detox, the function of your liver, your kidneys, your stomach acid levels, your gut biome, your gut bacteria, the flora, the balance or imbalance, and your ability to stress manage, your histamine response, your skipping meals or not, your toxicity level, and your sleep quality. And then your exercise regime, and then your age, and then your male or female. Those are all the things that are relevant. I've got 600 videos talking about all those subjects. So people who want to gain muscle and get lean, I'm a woman at almost 50. So don't tell me it's not possible, because I keep getting gains. This is 100% natural. You know what I take? Chlorella. You know what I take? Vitamin C. Yeah, I don't like to suggest supplements, but I'm telling you, like, I don't even take BCAAs, yo. I don't take any branched chain amino acids from supplementation. I'll just use real food for my BCAAs. It's freaking amazing. So what you want to do is, those are the things that you have to look out for. Like, if you get colds and flus all the time, if your menstrual cycle's bye-bye, men, if your testosterone is low and your dihydrotestosterone, DHT, is too high, if you don't sleep well, if you have cravings, if you have leptin resistance, if you've got like rashes and acne, like all that stuff has to be dealt with before deciding to get the business. Yes, and getting off caffeine and nuts and foods with allergens. I forgot to mention that in my list. People are like, what's wrong with nuts? What's wrong with peanuts? Like, oh, shit. But yeah, so what I suggest is to go through my videos. I need to go and put them into playlists, so you guys can go, oh, how to keto adapt, boom, how to gain muscle, boom, how to get the pump back. The things that people are concerned about when they do keto is that their kidneys go like, wah, 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 wah. You lose a lot of water, which means your muscles look flat, which you can see that my muscles do not at 48. No, they don't look flat at all. So that just tells you that if you put your body back in a homeostatic level, that your kidneys will rebalance the water as it should, and all the muscle fibers, so you're not flat anymore. Now, what I would do as a fitness competitor, and this applies to anybody, but you know, it's like for people who get on this channel and they want to learn more, what I would do is I would get off the hamster wheel of carb cycling and carb backloading and all that crap, and I would just slowly change my crappy processed carbohydrates to very slow, low glycemic carbohydrates, like a sweet potato, like yellow squash and berries, things that have carbohydrates but on a lower level, like carrots, raw carrots. These things are really great source of carbohydrates, but lower glycemic, just enough to get the glucose in the brain as you transition over to keto. So the slower you go, this is the really difficult subject, because sometimes I'm like, yo, keto overnight, just go for it, like go from high carb to low carb and just deal with the keto flu. But really, if you guys are patient, the best is to graduate your carbs from one shitty carb to a better slow burning, like less starches, less sugar, and then ultimately you're going to drop your carbohydrates down to 20 net carbs. I say net because if you just lightly steam or saute your cruciferous, fibrous vegetables, you can count the fiber. Yes, you can. You don't have to go by the total number, which is also a debate. Now, with that said, as you transition, if you like in my other videos, if you're doing paleo, you always want to keep your fats high. That's the problem with people going on diets. Y'all afraid of fat. Try to explain to people that basically what you want to do is, the reason why you're starting with low glycemic carbohydrates is because you want your glucose to not spike. Not only spike really fast, but not only the speed, but the volume at the rate at which it hits your blood, because that will block your keto adaptation as you're trying to get ready for a fitness competition. Get the business. Yes. So what you want to do is switch out and just get used to. Now, a lot of people are like, I'm going to get weak at the gym and I'm going to get flat and all this kind of stuff, and I'm going to start losing muscle, and people who do fitness anything are always afraid to lower their proteins. But what you guys don't understand is that once you become less catabolic, then the rapage, yes, raping and the pillageness of your muscle slows down to a crawl, which puts you in an anabolic state, which is why Stephanie, at the age of 48, who eats a little bit of chlorella, which is algae from a pond, and that's how I'm able to still build muscle, build glutes that fell. My glutes fell. And I got the pictures to prove it. And I don't mean that nasty product that doesn't work. Now, with that said, because I think I'm already going over time, yeah, soon. So let's burn through it. I would graduate slowly. I would take myself from 100 carbs down to 70 carbs down to 20 net carbs. Then I would keep the fats high. I would be like, yo, start at 150, even if you're a carb burner. Separate your fats and your carbs, because when you eat a carb and you have an insulin response, insulin is going to store the fat as well, unless it's an MCT, which gets burned off in 20 minutes, because it doesn't have to go through the whole digestive process. Once you convert over and once you graduate your carbs down, then you guys want to take a break from the heavy lifting. You do not want to lift to failure. You do not want to anything that's going to get your heart rate up. No HIIT training, no interval training, no sprints, no powerlifting heavy, no CrossFit, no watts for at least a couple weeks to get your adrenals to understand what the hell's going on. And so when you switch over to adding more fat, once your carbs get down to 20 net, then you won't have that really awful back slap of your body rejecting keto. So then once you get into keto, it's going to take you about 3 months to start getting lean. And that's if you're metabolically sound. If you are metabolically screwed up and you're coming at keto with no menstrual cycle, or it's wacky, girl, for the women, it's going to take you 6 months. I know. So I tell people to lay off the cardio, lay off the walking. I don't care if you're super slow. We want to lift. We want to do resistance training. We want to do time under tension. I just need you guys for a couple weeks to chill out, because if you're training heavy and if you're sprints and interval, then your cortisol levels, if your body's a cortisol junkie or it's an adrenaline junkie, your glucose is going to be too high, and you cannot have two fuel sources competing in the bloodstream. So if you guys want to learn more on how to get ready for a fitness competition, go stephanieperson.com, Stephanie Business Person, my Facebook fan page, or Stephanie Ketogenic. But once you fully adapt, you can then lower your fat, but it's got to be over 200, and get the business. Peace out, guys. Yeah.